All right, let's dive deep into this one. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. This book, it's a classic, and I think we're going to find out why today.
Yeah.
So today we are going to break down those key insights, try to really understand how this subconscious mind works and how it's impacting us and what we can do to kind of make it work for us.
Absolutely.
For good, not for evil.
Yeah.
And this book, it blends science and spirituality to make its points.
Yeah.
Even using some biblical examples.
Right. And it's fascinating how the book really emphasizes the connection between the conscious and subconscious minds, right? And it uses this analogy of a ship to explain this. So imagine your conscious mind as the captain of the ship. He's making the decisions at the helm. But below deck, there's this powerful engine room that's propelling the ship forward. That's your subconscious mind.
Got it.
And the engine room, it doesn't question your commands. It simply acts on them. And that's a really important point here.
So if our subconscious mind is just acting on our commands without questioning, does that mean then that our beliefs, even if they're not true, are essentially shaping our reality?
That's exactly what the book argues. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It's the belief itself that creates the result. And we see this illustrated in the story of the opera singer Caruso, who was struggling with stage fright. And he overcame it by commanding his conscious mind to step aside and let his subconscious, which he referred to as his big me, take over and sing.
Wow. Okay, that's a powerful example, of how understanding this dynamic can help you overcome fears even.
Yeah.
But how do we actually communicate with this subconscious mind?
Right.
The book mentions suggestion as a method.
Yeah, which describes two types of suggestion. There's auto-suggestion, maybe self-suggestion, and then there's heterosuggestion, which is suggestions that come from others.
Okay.
And both of these can have a huge impact on our physical and mental states.
Yeah.
For example, the book talks about how using specific affirmations can help someone overcome a bad temper or even induce seasickness in someone just through the power of suggestion.
It's almost like our subconscious mind is taking things so literally. But some of these stories sound a little far-fetched.
No.
What evidence is there to actually support these claims about the power of suggestion?
Well, the book cites many examples, like the story about this man who actually died believing a fortune teller's prediction. And it wasn't because it came true, it was just because of the power of suggestion on his subconscious mind. It highlights this idea that our subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between what's real and what we believe to be real.
That's a little unnerving.
Yeah.
But also empowering to realize how much control we might actually have over our thoughts and beliefs.
Absolutely.
Now, the book also claims that your prayer is answered because your subconscious mind is principle. It's essentially saying that it operates on these universal laws, much like those in, physics or chemistry.
So how do universal laws connect to my subconscious and prayer?
Well, think of it this way. Just as dropping a stone will make it fall because of gravity, regardless of where you are in the world, your subconscious mind also responds consistently to the thoughts and beliefs you impress upon it.
Okay.
The book argues that prayer, combined with belief, actually sets these universal laws in motion within your subconscious mind.
So the key takeaway here is that our thoughts have power to attract something we need to convince our subconscious mind of its reality. This seems especially relevant when it comes to something like, financial abundance,
right,
which the book dedicates a whole section to.
Absolutely. The book actually states that financial difficulties often stem from not truly convincing your subconscious mind of abundance. So it suggests cultivating the feeling of wealth and avoiding those negative thoughts about money. And we see this play out in the story of Mr. Broke, who overcame financial hardship by repeatedly affirming this phrase, "Thank you, Father, for my wealth."
Wow. And eventually, through this affirmation, he landed a lucrative job and achieved financial stability.
Okay, but isn't that just positive thinking? How is that different?
Well, it goes beyond just thinking positive thoughts. It's about consistently and consciously impressing this idea of wealth onto your subconscious mind until it accepts it as true. Remember that ship analogy we were talking about?
Right.
It's like you, the captain, are giving this clear command to the engine room to steer towards abundance.
I see.
It's about setting that intention.
Okay, so we need to make our subconscious believe it's already achieved what it wants to achieve. And the book also highlights Madame Beer's healing at Lourdes.
Right.
And it attributes her healing to her unwavering faith. So essentially, activating her subconscious mind's healing power, even if she didn't understand the science behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Her belief was the catalyst, and this actually leads to another important concept. Mental healing, the book states that prayer therapy is the combined function of the conscious and subconscious mind scientifically directed.
So we're taking what could be considered a spiritual practice, like prayer, and applying a scientific lens to it.
Exactly.
Now, the book mentions a Dr. Esdaile, who performed successful surgeries even before we knew about bacteria, and attributes his success to implanting these hypnotic suggestions for health in his patients' subconscious minds.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It's like planting seeds of healing.
Yeah.
So the book suggests that we can all do this by conveying the idea of perfect health to our subconscious through relaxation and positive affirmations.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense. So it seems like we can apply this subconscious programming to all areas of life.
Yeah.
Including finding an ideal partner,
Right.
which the book also delves into.
Absolutely. It suggests that attracting the ideal partner starts with impressing the desired qualities you want in a partner onto your subconscious mind, and this involves visualizing and feeling the reality of a loving relationship. It's like creating a mental blueprint.
So instead of focusing on what we lack in a partner, we should focus on embodying the qualities we desire. The book mentions a woman who always attracted submissive partners, but she was able to break this pattern by consciously affirming the qualities of a strong, masculine partner, essentially reprogramming her subconscious.
Yeah, she was able to change her reality by changing her thoughts and beliefs.
Precisely. And it's about understanding that we do have the power to change our subconscious programming and attract what we want.
Absolutely.
However, the book does emphasize
Yeah.
that attracting abundance, whether it's finances, relationships,
Right.
should always be done with honesty and integrity.
Of course.
There's no shortcuts to true success.
Yeah, there's no magic bullet here. It's about aligning your actions with your thoughts and beliefs.
So it's not about manipulating the universe. It's about aligning our subconscious mind with our goals and taking ethical action towards them.
Right.
But let's be real. We all experience fear and negative emotions.
Yeah, of course.
What's the book's take on overcoming those?
The book tackles fear head-on with a pretty bold statement. Fear is a thought in your mind, and you are afraid of your own thoughts. So it suggests banishing fears like stage fright or fear of failure by replacing those negative thoughts with positive affirmations and visualizations. And we see this in the story of the young lady who overcame her fear of water by repeatedly affirming her mastery over it.
So it's like reframing the fear into something that we can control.
Exactly.
But doesn't this require a lot of self-awareness to even recognize those negative thoughts in the first place?
It does, absolutely. And the book stresses the dangers of abnormal fear, citing the example of a woman who was fixated on airplane crashes and almost attracted that very scenario that she feared.
Oh, wow.
It's a reminder that our thoughts have power and we need to be mindful of what we're feeding our subconscious.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but what about aging?
Right.
It seems like a topic many approach with fear or anxiety. So what's the book's perspective on that?
Well, the book actually offers a really refreshing take on aging. It challenges the narrative that equates it with decline and uselessness.
Right.
It encourages us to embrace a mindset of vitality and wisdom, rejecting the idea that our minds just inevitably deteriorate with age.
So instead of viewing aging as something to be feared, we should see it as another stage of growth and opportunity.
Exactly.
But how do we actually cultivate this positive mindset about aging?
Well, the book suggests focusing on continued learning and growth. The author actually shares a story about his encounter with 88-year-old Herbert Hoover, who was still actively working and full of enthusiasm, proving that age really is just a number.
That's inspiring.
It is.
So it's about recognizing the unique gifts that come with each stage of life.
Yeah.
It's about celebrating aging, isn't it?
It is, and a key to that celebration is choosing happiness. It's about consciously focusing on positive thoughts and cultivating an attitude of gratitude.
So it's not about waiting for happiness to find us, but actively choosing it, moment by moment.
Moment by moment.
The book shares the example of an Irish farmer who made happiness a daily habit.
Right. It wasn't about his external circumstances. It was about cultivating that positive internal state.
It's incredible how much power we have over our experience.
It is. And this conscious decision to focus on the positive is a powerful way to tap into that incredible power of your subconscious mind.
This is all incredibly insightful. It seems like the power of our subconscious mind really extends to every area of life, not just healing or finding love.
Absolutely. It's about understanding that your subconscious can be this powerful ally in achieving anything you set your mind to.
So how do we actually tap into this power?
Well, the book suggests a few key principles, and it compares these principles to those found in science. Like if you combine hydrogen and oxygen in the right proportions, you get water.
Yeah.
So the book is arguing that there are specific principles we can use to effectively work with our subconscious mind. It's like having a formula for success. But instead of chemicals, we're working with our thoughts and beliefs. And one of the key principles that the book mentions is this universal law of action and reaction.
Okay. How does that apply to the subconscious mind?
Well, the book explains that just as, matter expands when heated, regardless of where it is in the world, our subconscious mind also responds consistently to the thoughts and beliefs that we impress upon it. So every thought is a cause and every condition is an effect.
That makes sense. It's like a cause and effect relationship, but on a mental level. So if we want to change our external reality, we need to start by changing our internal reality.
Precisely. And that's where those practical techniques in the book come in. It provides a roadmap for consciously directing our thoughts and beliefs in a way that aligns with our desires.
So it's not just about, positive thinking. It's about understanding the mechanics of this subconscious mind and using that knowledge to create the life that we want. So what are some of those practical techniques?
One of the key techniques is the power of autosuggestion. It's about consciously choosing the thoughts that we want to plant in our subconscious minds.
So it's like giving ourselves positive affirmations, right? Like instead of saying, I can't afford that, we might affirm, I am attracting abundance into my life.
Exactly. It's about shifting that internal dialogue from one of lack to one of possibility. And remember, it's not just about saying the words, it's about truly believing them and feeling the emotions associated with them.
Yeah, but what about those times when those negative thoughts inevitably creep in? We all have moments of doubt and fear. How do we deal with those?
Well, the book acknowledges that negative thoughts are a part of life. It's not about suppressing them. It's about recognizing them and then consciously choosing to replace them with positive ones. It's like weeding a garden, pulling out those unwanted thoughts and planting empowering ones in their place.
It's a continuous process, isn't it? This whole idea of retraining the subconscious mind.
It is, but the more we practice, the more automatic it becomes. It's like building a new muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets.
So in a sense, we're creating new neural pathways, new habits of thought that support our well-being and our success.
Precisely. And this brings us to another powerful tool for working with the subconscious, the power of imagination.
Ah, yes, our imagination is limitless. How does the book suggest we use it?
Well, the book encourages us to vividly imagine our desired outcome, feeling it as if it were real. The more detailed and emotionally charged that vision is, the more powerfully it impacts our subconscious.
Like creating a mental movie, a preview of the life we want to live.
Exactly. And the book shares a really incredible example of how this works in practice. It tells the story of this young girl who used her imagination to actually escape a Russian prison camp during World War II.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
How did she do it?
Every day, she would vividly imagine herself walking down the streets of Los Angeles, a place she had never even been. She would picture the buildings, the people, and she would feel the joy of being free.
She created a mental escape route.
Exactly. And she did this consistently, day after day, until it became so real in her mind that she was able to walk out of that prison camp undetected and eventually made her way to Los Angeles.
That's a powerful testament to the power of the imagination. It's like she willed her reality into being.
She did. And that's what the book encourages us all to do. It's about recognizing that our imagination isn't just a source of entertainment, but it's a powerful tool for creation.
It's about harnessing the power of that subconscious mind to manifest our desires. And the book provides specific techniques for doing that right.
Yes. One technique is the mental movie method, which is similar to visualization but more structured. It involves creating a detailed mental scene of your desired outcome, including sights, sounds, emotions, and then replaying that scene in your mind over and over, especially before sleep.
It's like giving our subconscious a detailed blueprint. Does the book provide any examples of how this technique has worked for others?
Absolutely. The book provides examples of how this method has helped people achieve their goals, from selling property to attracting wealth.
It's almost like we're programming our subconscious minds for success. But are there any potential downsides to tapping into this subconscious mind? Are there any risks that we should be aware of?
That's an important question, and the book does address some potential pitfalls, and one of the biggest is the power of negative suggestion.
Right, we talked about how the subconscious doesn't discriminate between positive and negative thoughts.
Exactly. If we're constantly bombarded with negativity, whether it's from ourselves or others, our subconscious mind will start to accept those messages as true.
It's like we're unintentionally programming ourselves for failure.
Precisely. And that's why it's so crucial to be mindful of the information that we consume, the company that we keep, and most importantly, the thoughts that we allow to dominate our minds.
It's about creating a positive mental environment that supports growth and well-being. What are some ways that we can do that?
The book suggests, being very aware of negative suggestions and consciously rejecting them, replacing them with positive affirmations.
It's like building a mental shield against negativity.
Exactly. And the more we practice this, the more resilient we become to those negative influences.
So we're taking back control of our minds, choosing to focus on thoughts that support our goals. It seems like understanding the power of the subconscious mind is really about understanding ourselves better.
It is, and this is what makes the book so relevant. It reminds us that we have everything we need within us to create a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment.
It's about tapping into our inner power to become the best version of ourselves.
Precisely. And that journey of self-discovery and transformation is what makes life so exciting.
It's about embracing the adventure and knowing that we have the power to create our own happy ending. This deep dive has been absolutely mind-blowing. The power of your subconscious mind is packed with incredible insights and techniques that have definitely shifted my perspective on how much control we have over our lives.
It's remarkable how the book's wisdom transcends time and cultures. The principles it outlines about the subconscious mind are just as relevant today as they were when the book was first published.
Absolutely. And speaking of enduring power, the book's closing thought really stuck with me. Old age really means the contemplation of the truths of God from the highest standpoint. It's a beautiful and thought-provoking idea.
It challenges us to rethink our assumptions about aging and see it as a time for continued growth and spiritual exploration, not just decline, but reaching a new level of understanding and wisdom.
So for you listening, as we wrap up this deep dive into the power of your subconscious mind, we want to leave you with a question to ponder. How can you apply these principles to enhance your own life, whether it's overcoming a fear, attracting abundance, or simply cultivating a deeper sense of peace and happiness? The power is within you.
Remember, your subconscious mind is a powerful ally waiting to be harnessed. It's time to tap into that power and create the life you truly desire.
Wow, this has been a fascinating look at the power of your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of how my mind works.
Yeah.
It's almost like discovering a hidden superpower within.
It is a bit like that. And one of the things I appreciate most about this book is that it doesn't shy away from tackling those more, complex issues like aging.
Right.
And I love how it reframes aging as a time for, continued growth and spiritual exploration.
Yeah, me too. The book encourages us to reject, that common narrative that equates aging with decline, and instead view it as a time for reaching new levels of understanding and wisdom.
Exactly. Remember that closing thought from the book. Old age really means the contemplation of the truths of God from the highest standpoint.
Yeah.
It's a powerful statement, that invites us to see aging as a journey of continued growth, not just physical decline.
Right. It's a reminder that we can choose how we experience every stage of life, including aging.
Absolutely.
So for you listening, as we wrap up this deep dive into the power of your subconscious mind, we encourage you to ask yourself, how can you harness the power of your subconscious mind to create a more fulfilling life?
Your subconscious mind is a powerful ally.
It really is.
It's time to take the helm, give it the right commands, and chart a course towards the life you truly desire.